know, that's what I was just about to say.
Opening statement. This is to advise the general public that in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, entitled Senator Byron Bear Open Public Meeting Act, New Jersey Casino Control Commission on December 6, 2023, filed with the Secretary of State at the State House in Trenton an annual meeting schedule. On December 6, 2023, copies were mailed to subscribers. The use of cell phones in the public meeting room while the commission is in session is prohibited. Any member of the public who wishes to address the commission will be given the opportunity to do so before the commission adjourns for the day. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everyone who is joining us in person and remotely today. Meeting participants who wish to do so can continue to address the Commission through remote technology. We are also permitting in-person participation. The public meeting room is therefore open and appropriate health measures are being taken. We will, however, continue to stream our public meetings. The public is able to listen through our access provided on the Commission's website, as well as through our YouTube channel. We will also accept public comments via email. Public comments can be sent to public.comments@ccc.nj.gov. I will repeat that. Public comments can be sent to public.comments@ccc.nj.gov beginning now and any time throughout the meeting, ending at the time of the adjournment. This meeting is being transcribed as well as recorded, and minutes will be available on our website in due course. To meeting participant callers, I ask that you follow the instructions provided with the web link or audio call-in code, and please place your phones on mute until your matter is called. Also, when your matter is called, please turn on your camera and identify yourself before speaking. Thank you.
Good morning. Please answer when I call your name for the roll, please. Commissioner Molyneux,
Present.
Vice Chair Cooper,
Present.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Present.
Thank you. Matters discussed in closed session this morning included the approval of the hiring of Juliana Johnson as Management Assistant, Program Compliance and Support Specialist 1, BAN in the Division of Regulatory Affairs, and amendments to the dress and appearance standards, dress code policy within the Commission's policy and Procedure Manual. And lastly, approval of the January 17, 2024 closed session minutes. The first item for your consideration is the ratification of the minutes of the public January 17, 2024 meeting.
Are there any questions for council or corrections?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to ratify the minutes of the January 17th, 2024 meeting.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. Item number 2 are applications for initial Casino Key employee licenses. They include Gino J. Cantel, Kenneth K. Shung, Anoop Chowdhury, Franco L. DeCandia, Scott A. Duncan, Alfredo A. Felice Jr., Ashley B. Gibson, Sanjeev Parikh, Onisha T. Noble, Renata Shalvich, also known as Renata Fishman, Leslie A. Wright, also known as Leslie A. Wilkins. The matter of Onisha T. Noble will be called separately. The remaining 10 initial Casino Key employee license applications have been reviewed by the Division of Gaming Enforcement as well as by Commission staff with a recommendation that they be granted.
Are there any questions regarding any of these matters?
No.
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant the 10 initial Casino Key employee licenses.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. With respect to Anisha T. Noble, the division has raised an objection with respect to her initial licensure. Staff has reviewed and concur and recommend that you remand this matter to the contested case process.
Are there any questions regarding this matter?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to remand for a hearing the initial Casino Key employee license application of Onisha T. Noble.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. Item number 3 are applications for resubmitted Casino Key employee licenses and/or for qualification. They include Mark R. Bangus, Angela Caprio, Dawn M. Seeley, also known as Dawn M. Argentario, Michelle R. Coleman Robinson, also known as Michelle R. Alston or Michelle R. Butler, Rosemary A. Cook, also known as Rosemary A. Moschella, Rosemary A. Lynn, Brian P. Flesh, Jane L. Goebel, also known as Jane L. Bohr, John M. Hifka, Lynette A. Holcomb, Bruce D. Johnson, Paywell M. Ledwald, Antonio Maldonado, Christopher M. Mattison, Melissa Malcioni, also known as Melissa Guzman, Octavio Mendez, also known as Octavio Mendez Gutierrez, Felipe A. Mitchell, Devavar Natgana, also known as Devagar Nima, Tisha T. Roberts, Adriana M. Samuels, also known as Adriana M. Cuccinello, John A. Scalera, Gerald Schaefer, Mary Tyndall, also known as Mary O. O'Mara. The matters of Mark R. Bangus and Dawn M. The matters of Angela Caprio and Mary Tyndall will be called separately as they require roll call votes. The remaining 20 resubmitted Casino Key employee licenses have been reviewed by the division as well as commission staff, and both concur and recommend that those 20 resubmissions be granted.
Are there any questions regarding any of these matters?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant the 20 resubmitted Casino Key employee licenses.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you. Angela Capria as Vice President Casino Marketing for DGMB Casino LLC Division, as well as Commission staff recommend that resubmitted key and qualification request be granted.
Are there any questions regarding this matter?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant resubmitted key license and qualification.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
No.
Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Molyneux,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cooper,
Yes.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Yes.
Mary Tyndall, also known as Mary O. O'Mara, also Vice President Marketing for DGMB Casino LLC. Again, that resubmitted casino key employee license and qualification requests have been reviewed by the division and commission staff, and both concur and recommend that they be granted.
Are there any questions regarding this matter?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant resubmitted key license and qualification.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
No.
Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Molyneux,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cooper,
Yes.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 4 are approvals through delegation of authority between January 1, 2023 and January 31, 2024 pursuant to resolution number 2201-1211B. You do have Manager Pat Eeler here to review those items with you for the record. However, no vote or action is required at this time.
Good morning, Chairman Plosis, Vice Chair Cooper, and Commissioner Molyneux. For the record, I am Patrick Eeler, Licensing and Financial Evaluation Unit Manager, appearing on behalf of the Commission. Between January 1st and January 31st, 2024, the staff of the Commission's Regulatory Affairs Division granted the following approvals via its delegated authority. On January 4th, 2024, a temporary casino key employee license was granted to Fleur S. Palomino for a dual-rate slot services supervisor and shift manager position at Tropicana Atlantic City. On January 16th, 2024, a temporary casino key employee license was granted to Kertisha X. Marcus, also known as Tisha Abdullah, for a revenue audit manager position at Caesars Atlantic City, and to Felicia Scott for a dual-rate slot services supervisor and shift manager position at Tropicana Atlantic City. On January 18th, 2024, a multi-casino endorsement on an existing casino key employee license was granted to Martin R. Salway for a Director of Retail Sportsbook position at Hard Rock Atlantic City and Boardwalk 1000. On January 24th, 2024, a temporary casino key employee license was granted to Joseph V. Casal for a racebook supervisor position at Borgata. On January 26, 2024, a temporary casino key employee license with a multi-casino endorsement was granted to Lamar D. Brown for a Director of Surveillance position at Hard Rock Atlantic City and Boardwalk 1000. And a multi-casino endorsement on an existing casino key employee license was granted to Thomas M. Lilly for a Regional Director of Marketing Fraud position at Caesars, Harrah's, and Tropicana Atlantic City. On January 29th, 2024, a temporary casino key employee license was granted to Nicholas J. Kowalski for a sportsbook supervisor position at Harrah's Atlantic City. And on January 31st, 2024, a temporary casino key employee license was granted to Renee Jones, also known as Renee Howard, for a casino cashiering supervisor position at Ocean Casino. This memorializes the approvals that were granted by the Commission's Division of Regulatory Affairs via its delegated authority during this period. No further action is required. Thank you.
Item number 5 are requests for inactivation of casino key employee licenses. Again, Manager Patrick Eeler will review those matters with you.
In lieu of filing a Casino Key employee license review application, the following individuals have requested to be placed on the Casino Key employee license approved and active list. Florika B. Chowdhury, also known as Florika B. Patel. William H. Clark III. Christine M. Critelli, also known as Christine M. Tartaglio, and Christine M. Doherty. James A. Dunn. John W. Fox Jr., Dan P. Nguyen, Diane S. Simpson, Gunther L. Tabern, and David Vadhanavong, also known as Pasith Vadhanavong. If the requests are granted, each individual may remain on the approved and active list for a period up to 5 years. Commission staff has reviewed these requests and recommends that you grant the requested relief.
Are there any questions on any of these matters?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant the requested relief and order that the 9 Casino Key employee licenses be inactivated.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Item number 6, or consideration of the lapsing of Casino Key employee licenses. Again, Patrick Eeler will review those with you.
At this time, for your consideration is the lapsing of the Casino Key employee licenses of the following individuals. In each case, the Casino Key employee license review application filing deadline has passed, and the following individuals have not filed a Casino Key employee license review application nor requested to be placed on the Casino Key employee license approved and active list. Michelle Y. DiMarino, also known as Michelle Y. DeFlavis, and Michelle Y. Pearlstein. Christy A. Fabiano, also known as Christine A. Fabiano. Stephen J. Felice, Mitchell A. Friedman, Eric R. Callback, Anthony M. Lamone, Joseph Pacapanicia, Hal Tendler, Mary E. Titus, also known as Mary E. McAdams, Joanne Zoda, also known as Joanne Mercurio, and Harry Class Jr. Based on these facts, staff recommends that the Casino Key employee license of these individuals be deemed to have lapsed.
Are there any questions regarding any of these matters?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to find that the 11 Casino Key employee licenses lapsed pursuant to NJAC 19:41A-6.1F of the regulations.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
No.
Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Item number 7 is consideration of the initial application of Timothy McCray for a Casino Key employee license. You have Senior Counsel Teresa Pipinelli will review that matter with you.
Morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Teresa Pipinelli, Senior Counsel, appearing for the Commission. For your consideration is a stipulation of settlement for the initial application of Timothy McCray for his Casino Key employee license. If approved, it will be valid through February of 2029, subject to certain conditions. You have staff's memo and recommendation for this matter. Mr. McCray was notified of today's proceedings. I would ask counsel for the division to enter their appearance and proceed.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Jocelyn Fedowitz, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. You have the division's report along with a stipulation of settlement that has been entered with the applicant. The division respectfully requests that the stipulation be approved as submitted and recommends the granting of the applicant's Casino Key employee license, subject to the terms and conditions of the stipulation. Thank you.
And for the record, the applicant is not present, correct? Yeah. Are there any questions for counsel?
No.
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the stipulation of settlement between the division and applicant and grant the initial application of Timothy McCray for a casino key employee license, subject to compliance with the terms and conditions as provided for in the stipulation.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Item number 8 is consideration of the initial application of Cerise Valentine for a Casino Key employee license. Again, Senior Counsel Pipinelli will review that with you.
Chairman, Commissioners, Teresa Pimpinelli, Senior Counsel, appearing for the Commission. For your consideration is the stipulation of settlement for the initial application of Sharice Valentine for her Casino Key employee license. If approved, her license will be valid through February of 2029, subject to certain conditions. Ms. Valentine was notified of today's proceedings, and I would just ask counsel for the division to enter their appearance and proceed.
Chairman and Commissioners, Jocelyn Fedowitz, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. You have the division's report along with a stipulation of settlement that has been entered with the applicant. The division respectfully requests that this stipulation be approved as submitted and recommends the granting of the applicant's Casino Key employee license, subject to the terms and conditions of the stipulation. Thank you.
Again, for the record, the applicant is not present.
Correct.
Are there any questions for counsel?
No.
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the stipulation of settlement between the division and applicant and grant the initial application of Sharice Valentine for a Casino Key employee license, subject to compliance with the terms and conditions as provided for in the stipulation.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Item number 9 is consideration of the initial application of Shia Stowe for a Casino Key employee license. Senior Counsel Teresa Pipinelli will address that with you.
Chairman, Commissioners, Teresa Pimpinelli, Senior Counsel, appearing again for the Commission. For your consideration in this matter is the stipulation of settlement for the initial application of Shia Stowe for her Casino Key employee license. Again, if approved, her license will be valid through February of 2029, subject to certain conditions. Ms. Stowe was notified of today's proceedings. I would just ask counsel for the division to enter their appearance and proceed.
Chairman and Commissioners, Jocelyn Fedowitz, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. You have the division's report along with a stipulation of settlement that has been entered with the applicant. The division respectfully requests that the stipulation be approved as submitted and recommends the granting of the applicant's Casino Key employee license, subject to the terms and conditions of the stipulation. Thank you.
Again, for the record, the applicant is not present.
Correct.
Are there any questions for counsel?
No.
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the stipulation of settlement between the division and applicant and grant the initial application of Shia Stowe for a Casino Key employee license, subject to compliance with the terms and conditions as provided for in the stipulation.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. Item number 10 is consideration of the initial application of Bryce D. Martin for a Casino Key employee license. Again, you have Senior Counsel Pipinelli ready to review that with you.
Morning again, Chairman and Commissioners. Teresa Pimpinelli, Senior Counsel, appearing for the Commission. Before you is the initial application of Bryce Martin for his Casino Key employee license. You have staff's memo and recommendation for this matter. Mr. Martin was notified of today's proceedings, and I would just ask counsel for the division to enter their appearance and proceed.
Chairman and Commissioners, Jocelyn Fedowitz, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. On August 25th, 2023, the division filed a letter report recommending that the application of Bryce Martin for a Casino Key employee license be denied for failing to cooperate in the division's investigation into the applicant's qualification for Casino Key employee licensure and as required by Section 89 of the Casino Control Act. Subsequently, the Commission at its September 13th, 2023 meeting remanded the matter to the contested case process. Bryce Martin failed to submit the requisite hearing request form and comply with the contested case process. Therefore, based on the applicant's non-responsiveness and failure to comply with the contested case process, we would request that Bryce Martin's application for a casino key employee license be denied. Thank you.
Again, for the record, the applicant is not present.
Correct.
Are there any questions for council on this matter?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to A, find Bryce D. Martin disqualified pursuant to NJSA 5:12-80 B and D and NJSA 5:12-86 and NJSA 5:12-89, and B, also deny his initial application for a casino key employee license.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. Item number 11 is consideration of the initial application of Tanaja Smith for a casino key employee license. Again, Senior Counsel Fidelli will review that with you.
Chairman, Commissioners, Teresa Pimpinelli, Senior Counsel, appearing again for the Commission. For your consideration is a stipulation of settlement for the initial application of Tanaja Smith for her casino key employee license. If approved, her license will be valid through February of 2029, subject to certain conditions. You have staff's memo and recommendation for this matter. Ms. Smith was notified of today's meeting. I would just ask counsel for the division to enter their appearance and proceed.
Chairman and Commissioners, Jocelyn Fedowitz, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. You have the division's report along with the stipulation of settlement that has been entered with the applicant. The division respectfully requests that the stipulation be approved as submitted and recommends the granting of the applicant's casino key employee license, subject to the terms and conditions of the stipulation. Thank you.
Again, for the record, the applicant is not present.
Correct.
Are there any questions for council?
No.
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the stipulation of settlement between the division and applicant and grant the initial application of Tanaja Smith for a casino key employee license, subject to compliance with the terms and conditions as provided for in the stipulation.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Item number 12 is consideration of the initial application of Jason Ballard for a casino key employee license. Again, Senior Counsel Pimpinelli will address that with you.
Morning again, Chairman and Commissioners. Teresa Pimpinelli, Senior Counsel, appearing for the Commission. For your consideration is a stipulation of settlement for the initial application of Jason Ballard for his casino key employee license. If approved, it will be valid through February of 2029, subject to the conditions contained in the stipulation. You have staff's memo and recommendation for this matter. Mr. Ballard was notified of today's proceedings, and I would just ask counsel for the division to enter their appearance and proceed.
Chairman and Commissioners, Jocelyn Fedowitz, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. You have the division's report along with the stipulation of settlement that has been entered with the applicant. The division respectfully requests that the stipulation be approved as submitted and recommends the granting of the applicant's casino key employee license, subject to the terms and conditions of the stipulation. Thank you.
Again, for the record, the applicant is not present.
Not.
Are there any questions for council?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the stipulation of settlement between the division and applicant and grant the initial application of Jason Ballard for a casino key employee license, subject to compliance with the terms and conditions as provided for in the stipulation.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Item number 13 is consideration of the initial application of Anthony DeSessa for a casino key employee license. Again, Senior Counsel Pimpinelli will review that with you.
Chairman and Commissioners, Teresa Pimpinelli, Senior Counsel, appearing for the Commission. For your consideration is the stipulation of settlement for the initial application of Anthony DeSessa for his Casino Key employee license. If approved, his license will be valid through February of 2029, subject to the conditions contained in the stipulation. Mr. DeSessa was notified of today's proceedings. I would just ask counsel for the division to enter their appearance and proceed.
Chairman and Commissioners, Jocelyn Fedowitz, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. You have the division's report along with the stipulation of settlement that has been entered with the applicant. The division respectfully requests that the stipulation be approved as submitted and recommends the granting of the applicant's Casino Key employee license, subject to the terms and conditions of the stipulation. Thank you.
Again, for the record, the applicant is not present.
Correct.
Are there any questions for council on this matter?
No.
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the stipulation of settlement between the division and applicant and grant the initial application of Anthony DeSessa for a Casino Key employee license, subject to compliance with the terms and conditions as provided for in the stipulation.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Number 14 is consideration of the initial application of Ryan Wares for a Casino Key employee license. Again, Senior Counsel Pimpinelli will review that with you.
Chairman, Commissioners, Teresa Pimpinelli appearing for my final matter before you this morning for the Commission. For your consideration is in a stipulation of settlement for the initial application of Ryan Wares for his Casino Key employee license. If approved, it will be valid through February of 2029, subject to certain conditions. Mr. Wares was notified of today's proceedings. I would just ask counsel for the division to enter their appearance and proceed.
Chairman and Commissioners, Jocelyn Fedowitz, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. You have the division's report along with the stipulation of settlement that has been entered with the applicant. The division respectfully requests that the stipulation be approved as submitted and recommends the granting of the applicant's Casino Key employee license, subject to the terms and conditions in the stipulation.
Again, for the record, the applicant is not present.
He is not.
Are there any questions for council on this matter?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the stipulation of settlement between the division and applicant and grant the initial application of Ryan Wares for a Casino Key employee license, subject to compliance with the terms and conditions as provided for in the stipulation.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, with your permission, we will move matter 17 next. Item number 17 is the joint petition of Caesars Entertainment, Inc., Boardwalk Regency LLC, Harrah's Atlantic City Operating Company LLC, and Tropicana Atlantic City Corp., requesting approval to dissolve trust account, terminate trust agreement dated July 20, 2020, between Caesars Entertainment, Inc. and John J. Farmer Jr. as trustee, and discharge trustee John J. Farmer Jr. This matter was initiated, the request was initiated by petition filed July 11, 2024, requesting the relief that I described. It is on the basis of the Commission's opinion and order that was entered on July 17, 2020, in connection with the merger of Eldorado Resorts and the Caesars properties to form Caesars Entertainment, Inc. Several conditions were imposed, conditions 25 and 26, specifically requiring Caesars to expend $400 million in capital improvements at the three properties, Caesars, Tropicana, and Harrah's, over the course of a 36-month period, with $150 million of that specifically dedicated for the Caesars property. The trusteeship has advanced, and now the request is to dissolve the trust, and allow for the distribution of the residual interest in the trust pursuant to the terms of the trust agreement. You have regional council present for Caesars Entertainment, as well as council for the division. And with your permission, Mr. Chairman, I ask that they enter their appearances and address the commission directly.
Good morning, Beth Sacco, Vice President. Before I address the commission, I would like the commission to be aware that John Farmer the independent trustee, is available remotely at the hearing, and in a few minutes, I'm going to have him address the commission. And also, our regional president for Caesars Entertainment Eastern Region, John Coster, is also available remotely, and he too is going to address the commission. So this petition, as Diana summarized, is in connection with the approval of the merger between Caesars Entertainment and El Dorado Resorts to form the new Caesars Entertainment, which I'm going to refer to as Caesars Entertainment. What we are requesting now is that the trust account be dissolved, and the remaining interest, because the principal has all been spent, for that to be set over to Caesars Entertainment. Also, that the trust agreement be dissolved, and also that John Farmer be released as the trustee. So again, just by way of background, the commission approval of the merger did require that Caesars Entertainment come up with a $400 million CapEx plan, which we did, and the division did approve it as per the commission resolutions. We also put the $400 million in a trust account, which was overseen by the trustee during this whole process. And the trust agreement was also entered into, and the commission and division approved it. The division approved the CapEx plan on October 6, 2020. And since that time, Caesars Entertainment undertook all the improvements over the last 3 years. And, I'm happy to be here to report that after the 3 years, we have spent the $400 million and have made some wonderful improvements to the properties. Throughout the process, we worked with the division. They were provided with quarterly updates. They were provided with copies of the CapEx funding requests that we sent to the trustee. And we would like to, at this point, I'd like to thank the division for their cooperation during this matter. We did run into certain supply chain issues over the course with COVID closures, and there were some delays, and the division did work with us to look at our committed spend in terms of the actual spend on the target dates. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank John Farmer. We sent him a voluminous amount of information. He got binders in connection with all the CapEx funding requests, and he was very thorough and always turned around promptly the CapEx funding requests. And we are really grateful for his dedication and support in this matter. And at this time, I would like John Farmer to have the opportunity to address the commission, and of course, he's available to answer any questions the commission may have. John?
Good morning. Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Bessie, for that introduction. I just want to.
One second, Mr. Farmer.
Swear you in.
That's right, we didn't do that yet.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're just going to swear you in, Mr. Farmer, if you don't mind.
I'm sorry?
Going to swear
Yes,
you.
go ahead.
Going
Yep.
to swear you in.
Yes, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
John Farmer.
Thank you.
So once again, I want to thank Bessie for that introduction, and want to thank the commission, the Division of Gaming Enforcement, and Caesars for the opportunity to have served as a trustee for this really transformative capital expenditure program. As Bessie mentioned, there were some delays that were attached to this mostly because of COVID and the supply chain issues that were raised by COVID. but we developed a system of review that I think was comprehensive, and that allowed me to serve as the independent trustee in a way that probably drove people crazy at times. But we were very exacting, and the commitment that was made was honored in every respect. At the beginning of January, I submitted, in addition to my monthly approvals of expenditures and accounting, to both the division and to Caesars, and it reconciled all the numbers. And so I support the application today to dissolve the trust. I want to thank everybody at the division, Director Rebuck, Assistant Attorney General Flaherty and their team, as well as Bessie Sacco, Peter Larragretta, and Brenda Wessler of Caesars for their cooperation. As I say, I had a lot of questions, and they were prompt in answering those, and it made for a extraordinarily smooth process. And I'm grateful to have given the opportunity to serve as the independent trustee. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Farmer. Any questions from our commissioners to Mr. Farmer?
No, everything looks fine. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Right now, and I also had said that John Coster, our regional president, is also available, and he'd like to address the commission. And John, I think you have to be sworn in first.
Certainly. Thank you, Bessie.
Yes, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
John Coster, I'm the regional president for Caesars Entertainment in the East, Atlantic City market, Baltimore, and Philadelphia.
Thank you.
Well, hello and good morning, Chairman Plosis, Vice Chairman Cooper, and Commissioner Molyneux. It's been a while since I've spoken to all of you. I think that was back in maybe April of 2022. Coming up on 3 years now in Atlantic City. As I had told you, I wasn't exactly thrilled with leaving Lake Tahoe at the time, but boy, it's been great. I'm glad that my company, Caesars Entertainment, gave me the opportunity to come out here and preside over the operational side of this $400 million master plan, which I really think has transformed, in particular, two of our properties that really needed it. And I'd just like to go over, and by the way, the supply chain issues, which John has mentioned and Bessie has mentioned, it definitely was some of the issues was slowing down the project a little bit. We had some inflation hit us, of course. We also had, a few scope changes along the way, but all that was documented and approved. And I think those changes were the right way to go. Right now, it looks like between the three properties, Caesars is at about $224.5 million in spend, very close to that. We've got about $143.4 million spent at Harrah's Atlantic City, and about I think it's right in the vicinity of $36.5 million at Tropicana. Again, Caesars had that minimum of $150 we needed to spend, and we went well beyond that. And the remaining part of that project I'll address in a minute, but we've spent $19.8 million on gaming equipment, including 700 new slot machines spread fairly evenly between the three properties. We've done over 500 conversions as well of new gaming themes on existing slot cabinets. So probably in the vicinity of 1,200 new games in terms of what's facing the customers. We spent $14.5 million on a high-speed floor improvements. That allows us to communicate customer reward credits points to them directly at the slot machine. Also passing on event promotion opportunities, food and beverage opportunities, and basically a way to communicate to the customer quickly all that they have available to them. We spent $24 million on the Caesars Atlantic City Casino, improving the entire lobby area. We renovated the floors, 2 floors. We did promotional areas. We did the loyalty lounge, and we also did restrooms. So it's really, that was all very needed, and I think anyone who's seen it, and I know that the chairman and I had an opportunity to tour Caesars a few months back, it's really come on even more since then. So just a tremendous enhancement to that property, which definitely needed it. We spent over, this is a project that went higher in scope. The Super Frico and Hook entertainment and restaurant options, as well as 4 bars as part of that venue at the old Kate's Casino section of the Wild Wild West. That was $33 million of spend, 420 seats on a bi-level showroom, really state-of-the-art, 5 days a week of the Hook performance, really a must-see. You know, kind of Vegas caliber almost show. I would say it definitely is Vegas caliber because we've kind of taken a few ideas from our Vegas counterparts on this. And the restaurant, Super Frico, outstanding, 190 seats. Really a tremendous eclectic view and very interesting design to that particular restaurant. So if you haven't seen it, you should definitely take a look. Little plug there. $9 million in other entertainment spend at the Caesars Pool. Really needed it. We completely redid the Caesars Pool area and bar. It just turned out fantastic. Added cabanas on top of the pool roof there and allowed for a view to occur, which was blocked in the past. So really a tremendous turnaround there. Greg Klein, our GM at Harrah's, has been lobbying for an arcade at Harrah's for a long time. So we got a beautiful new arcade there, which really works very well with all the groups that we have, and it's already hitting the ground running very, very well. Royce Nightclub over at Tropicana, it's a really cool nightclub that you should check out if you have not seen it. And then the big spend of the what is now going to be $426 million in spend. We will be over by about $26 million of the committed $400 million when we get all said and done. $203 million has been spent on rooms renovations at the Waterfront Tower and Atrium Tower at Harrah's, and then at the Ocean Tower and Centurion Tower at Caesars, with the last part of that project, Nobu Hotel and Suites, which is 85 keys on the top 3 floors of Centurion. And we had a little back and forth with our partners in Nobu, and we finally have come to an agreement on how that product will be presented and look, and everybody's in agreement now. So we should be renting those 85 keys, of which 3 are suites, in the very near future. And I think you're gonna, between the Nobu restaurant and the Nobu Hotel and Suites, we've got like a hotel within a hotel now in Atlantic City, and a really high-end brand. Nobu continues to expand around the world, actually, in terms of hotels and restaurants. So we definitely have got a great relationship with that organization. And then, speaking of organizations, on the Celebrity Chef side of the equation, we spent $38 million on restaurants and bars, including Hell's Kitchen, which I think anybody who's been there would say that it is a wonderful transformation of that space, formerly a nightclub. It's really tremendous. It'll do over 500 covers now on Saturday nights on a regular basis, and it's really just a tremendous operation. We're very glad we've got that relationship with Gordon Ramsay. Also, you know, on the Nobu side of the equation, that'll regularly break 400 covers on Saturdays and does very well all week long. It's a lot of customers too coming in that we've never seen before. So I think the Celebrity Chef side of the equation has really been a nice addition in Atlantic City. Our Starbucks on the first floor of Caesars has been an absolute success, and it's just kind of finished off that beautiful sense of arrival that we now have there on the first floor of Caesars. We also put a hash house in the old buffet space at Tropicana, right on the boardwalk. That is definitely taken off. Very good portion sizes over there, by the way. And then right next to it, a Purple Zebra. So all the kinds of interesting fancy drinks that you can imagine at the Zebra. And Il Verde, the old Olan space at Tropicana, is now a beautiful Italian restaurant. Done a great job, I think, transforming that. The bar is completely renovated. An antipasti station on the way in, and then a restaurant that can be broken up into also a private, part of it can be a private dining room. And then finally, La Strada at the Shore. Our original founder, Don Carano, created with Ivano, our executive chef from the Row in Reno, created this great concept called La Strada. And out here, we've got the second one in the company at Harrah's, replacing the old Martirano space. And that is La Strada at the Shore. It's fantastic with some of the original creations that Ivano came up with. So that's probably, I'm sure, I missed the less interesting part for everybody probably, but $73 million was also spent in the facility area, lift, elevators, escalators, air handling units, the less roofing, the less, if you will, sporty side of the equation, but definitely needed. And that continues on. It takes about 16 weeks to completely renovate an elevator. So we continue on with that, and that project will roll a bit into 2024. But again, the current spend and committed is about 404. And then when we get done with Nobu Hotel and Suites, as well as some of the other facility projects, et cetera, we should finish up the master plan at about 426 million. And again, we're not done spending. We will be continuing to spend on a yearly basis. We have our 5-year commitment that we have to spend X amount at 5% or so within that period of time. And I can assure you we will. We've got some work to do, more work to do at Tropicana. We've got some towers we need to address, hotel towers over there, a few other things that we need to address. And then we've got some other ideas still remaining for Caesars in terms of potentially new outlets, and also at Harrah's. And by the way, we'll be doing Buddy V's Boardwalk Empire. That's going to open up at Harrah's, in that where you come into the lobby on the left-hand side is currently closed down, used to be retail. That's going to be the first thing you see on the way into Harrah's, and I think that's just going to be a tremendous addition to that property. Should be opening about Memorial Day for Buddy V. So I think that's a pretty good recap of what Caesars is doing in Atlantic City and will continue to do in Atlantic City. We are committed to Atlantic City. We want to make sure Atlantic City continues to be a fresh, very competitive product, and I can assure you we will not let our foot off the gas on that side of the equation. And now I'm happy that they moved me from Lake Tahoe to Atlantic City. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy to answer any questions.
Yes. Commissioners, any questions for Mr. Coster? Yes, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Actually, it's not a question, but it's just a couple comments. So first, I wanted to thank you for being here with us this morning. I suppose when you hear the figure $400 million, you step back and say, oh my goodness, $400 million. That's fantastic. That's exciting. That's exorbitant. Well, what's going to happen? What's going on with $400 million? Well, just to hear your comments this morning, what your plans are with the three properties, it's just fascinating. It's exciting. And again, I want to thank you for your explanation of what exactly is, going to be taking place at the three totally different properties. You've got Trop, Caesars, Harrah's. Each one has its own personality. But the spending of, what's your capital expenditure money, again, it's just very exciting. To hear the variety of improvements, and I'm using the word improvements, there's maintenance. And as I said, I read all the documents, and, maybe it's not exciting to hear about an elevator being repaired, but it's necessary. So when you look at an elevator repair and other, maintenance things, that is so very, very important. A little bit more exciting, certainly, is when you talk about, and as you just explained, the modernization and the improvements. You've talked about gaming, dining, retail, what's going on at the pool, all the amenities that your properties have to offer. It's very, as I said, it's just very, very exciting. Fast forward, summing all up, the expenditures that you're going to be making here in Atlantic City. Me personally, as a commissioner, it's very, very exciting. And you just used a word, and I was getting ready to use it at the same time. It makes your properties certainly very competitive. We have 9 casinos here. Again, each one has its following, its personality, but with what you just detailed, it's certainly going to make your 3 properties, as you just said, very, very competitive. And you put everything together, and it's all, the bottom line is to enhance Atlantic City and the gaming industry. Again, I emphasize what you mentioned about the amenities. It's very, very exciting. You talked about a couple things that are going to be taking place in the future. All I can say is congratulations. I wish you, from me personally, just a lot of success in your future endeavors. Everything just looks fantastic. And again, thank you for being here this morning.
That is very kind of you to say. Vice Chair Cooper. I appreciate that. And I also want to thank, and I forgot to thank, and I need to thank Director Reebok and Assistant or Vice Director Flaherty. They have been very helpful. The entire DGE team has worked with us very closely. It is a really great partnership here. You know, I will just say, I think the Caesars Legacy folks before the current new Caesars Entertainment, you know, I think there were some, you know, capital, you know, misunderstandings or pullbacks, whatever you want to call it. But, and we're so happy to be able to make the commitment of the 400 million and actually go to 426 and deliver on our promises. Tom Reeg and Anthony Carano are absolutely stand-up gentlemen that want to continue to really make sure that we've got the most competitive product from a physical point of view, service point of view, and marketing point of view. And they have been, you know, stood right with me in helping all of us get this done. I must say, I've never had $426 million to spend before. Normally, I had to beg, borrow, and steal to get capital in the past. So it's wonderful when they tell you you have to spend it. That was wonderful. I knew I wasn't going to lose any of it. So that was great that we could do this and accomplish this. And appreciate, you know, everything with the CCC and also with the DGE. It's been a great partnership, and we're just about to the finish line. And again, it's not done. I mean, this is the big part of it, but we'll be continuing to spend, you know, 40, 50 million a year in Atlantic City. So that's not going to stop.
Commissioner Molyneux?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm going to be paying a visit to see what you have done, since you have said that you've done all these things. I know when I was there before, it was a presentation that saying you were going to make these improvements. So I'll be planning to visit you before I go to Las Vegas, because I want to see the comparison there, to see what Las Vegas has and what we had. So we appreciate you, and we want to make Caesars one of the better than Las Vegas.
Commissioner Molyneux, believe me, thank you, by the way, and I look forward to giving you that tour. By the way, we will be touring, you and I, I recently promoted Karen Warman to Senior Vice President and General Manager of Caesars Atlantic City. As you may recall, Joe Lodis had left us in January of 23. Director Reebok was nice enough, and Mary Jo, to allow me to be the acting general manager at Caesars Atlantic City, as well as regional president, from January until, they gave me until September 30th. So they were very kind to give me an extension. I said, look, I want to complete this master plan. I'm in the best position to be GM and, you know, regional president and complete this master plan, but I'll find us a new general manager by September 30th. And I delivered on that. It was down to the wire, I must say, 4 days before, I think, September 30th, but it took me 9 months to convince Karen Warman that she should move out of finance and become a general manager. And now she is a tremendous general manager at Caesars Atlantic City, our luxury property in Atlantic City. And I have never seen anybody hit the ground running faster than Karen on transitioning from finance to general manager. So you'll be happy to meet her as well, I'm sure.
Thank you. Look forward to it.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Commissioner Molyneux. Let me just say, I was there yesterday in your property. I had to speak at a conference, and it looked great. They were still painting odds and ends when I was there yesterday. And as you said earlier, John, we've been touring it quite a bit during these projects that you were talking about. And you guys have really done a sound investment back into all three of the properties. We want to commend you on that. And also for exceeding the 400 million, we commend you on that as well, because you've truly made 3 unique destinations in town to add to the other 6 we have. So I think it's really been a win-win for your properties as well as the city. So we want to congratulate you on a job well done. And you had a good man leading you. I've worked with Mr. Farmer over the last 30 years in a number of capacities, and you couldn't have had a better guy reviewing the process, because he is really a man of high integrity, and he does a thorough job. So I commend you on that as well. So with that being said.
Thank you, Chairman. And I just wanted to thank again, John, for doing a great job navigating the entire master plan process. It's at times, I'm sure, tedious and, very data driven, et cetera, but he did a great job on it, and we appreciate that.
Thank you. Connor, did you have?
Thank you.
Mr. Martin has entered his appearance as well.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Connor Martin, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. As outlined by Bessie, John Coster, and Trustee Farmer, since the establishment of the trust agreement, the division has engaged with Caesars and the trustee with regard to the CapEx plan, actual capital expenditures underway and as completed, and issues encountered, again, as outlined by Bessie, related to COVID-19 and supply chain. The division has monitored these capital expenditure matters and the trust arrangement on an ongoing basis. Caesars was cooperative and the trustee was thorough, diligent, and conscientious throughout the entire process. As a result of the trust arrangement, under the conditions set forth by the division and the efforts and attentiveness of Caesars, the trustee, and the division, over $400 million in capital expenditure improvements have been effectuated at each of the Atlantic City properties. The division thanks all those involved. As the CapEx condition requirements and the terms of the trust agreement have been adhered to, the division recommends that the commission grant the requests of CEI to dissolve the trust account, release all interest in the trust account to CEI, terminate the trust agreement, and discharge the trustee. We have also reviewed the draft resolution and have no objection to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Connor.
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Sacco has some.
So, just to wrap up, so in terms of the relief we're requesting, so again, the final accounting has been submitted. Caesars Entertainment has reviewed it, approved it, as well as the division, and the commission has been obviously provided with a copy of the final accounting. The trust agreement does provide that upon a determination by the commission and recommendation of the division that Caesars has completed the $400 million CapEx spend, that the trustee is authorized to close the trust account with the principal has all been spent, with the remaining interest to be turned over to Caesars Entertainment. So in light of all of that having transpired, the application that we request again is for the trust account to be closed and the interest to be sent over to Caesars Entertainment, for the trust agreement to be terminated, and for Mr. Farmer to be discharged as the trustee. And I have also reviewed the draft proposal, the resolution, and I have no objection, and I would respectfully request that it be entered, and I'm happy that this is now completed. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for council? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the draft resolution and grant the relief requested in the petition, and A, approve the dissolution of the trust account, and authorize the release of all residual interest in the trust account to Caesars Entertainment, Inc., and B, approve the termination of the trust agreement dated July 20th, 2020, between Caesars Entertainment, Inc. and Caesars Resort Collection, LLC, with John J. Farmer Jr. as trustee, and C, discharge the trustee, John J. Farmer Jr., all subject to the extent set forth, as well as the conditions provided for in the resolution.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, roll call vote?
Commissioner Molyneux,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cooper,
Yes.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you again.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Casino Control Commission, Chairman, Vice Chairman, and Commissioner, very much appreciate it and look forward to welcoming you in for any time you want to come over for a tour. We're very happy to provide that. And every time, by the way, I just have to end with this. Every time I hear July 20th, 2020, that was the day that my new company took over my old company, which I used to work for, moved me back to Harrison Harvey's Lake Tahoe as general manager. And July 20th is my birthday. So I got to tell you, I love to hear July 20th, 2020.
Fair enough.
Thank
Congratulations.
you, one and all. See you
Thank you,
soon.
everybody. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Mr. Chairman, returning to item number 15, which is consideration of the plenary qualification of Nicole L. Salata to serve as Senior Vice President and Chief Audit Executive for Caesars Entertainment, Inc. This matter was originally presented by petition PRN 1812303, dated June 30, 2023, seeking the temporary qualification of Ms. Salato to serve as Senior Vice President and Chief Audit Executive for Caesars Entertainment, Inc. The matter was reviewed at your July 12, 2023 meeting, at which time you granted her temporary qualification. We are now here for consideration of her plenary qualification. The division has reported. We have counsel for the division present, as well as counsel again for Caesars Entertainment, Inc. And with your permission, I would ask that they both enter their appearances and address the commission directly.
Beth Sacco, Vice President, Chief Counsel, Regional Operations, Caesars Entertainment. As Diana has advised, this matter was before you on July 12th for her temporary qualification. She is the Nicole Lee Salata, is the Senior Vice President and Chief Audit Executive for Caesars Entertainment. And I have reviewed the proposed resolution, and I have no objection, and I would respectfully request that it be entered for her plenary qualification. Thank you.
Good morning again, Chairman and Commissioners. Connor Martin, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. The division filed a report on January 26th recommending the plenary qualification of Nicole Salida to serve as Senior Vice President and Chief Audit Executive for Caesars Entertainment, Inc. We have reviewed the draft resolution and have no objection to it. Thank you.
Are there any questions for council?
No.
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the draft resolution and find Nicole L. Salida qualified to serve as Senior Vice President and Chief Audit Executive for Caesars Entertainment, Inc., in accordance with NJSA 5:12-85.1 and NJAC 13:69C-2.7.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Molyneux,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cooper,
Yes.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 16 is consideration of the initial Casino Key employee licensure and plenary qualification of Cheryl Francesi to serve as Vice President of Finance for Caesars Interactive Entertainment New Jersey, LLC. This matter was initiated by petition PRN 1582301, dated June 6, 2023, seeking the temporary Casino Key employee license with residency waiver and temporary qualification for her to serve as Vice President of Finance for Caesars' interactive licensee, Caesars Interactive Entertainment, New Jersey. You considered the petition at your July 12, 2023 meeting, at which time the temporary Casino Key employee license with residency waiver was granted and her temporary qualification was approved. The division has plenarily reported on the applications. Both are present. The division is here. Counsel for Caesars Entertainment again is here. And with your permission, I ask that they again enter their appearances and address the commission directly.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners, one last time. Beth Sacco, Vice President and Chief Counsel, Regional Operations, Caesars Entertainment. This application was, again, originally presented by our petition for initial temporary Casino Key license and qualification for Cheryl Francesi to serve as Vice President of Finance for Caesars Interactive Entertainment New Jersey, which is the internet gaming affiliate casino licensee in New Jersey. I have reviewed the resolution, and I have no objection, and I would respectfully request that the resolution be entered for her plenary qualification and her initial key employee license with residency waiver. Thank you.
Morning. For the final time, Chairman and Commissioners, Connor Martin, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. The division filed a report on January 24th recommending the plenary qualification and key licensure of Cheryl Franchese as Vice President of Finance for Caesars Interactive Entertainment New Jersey LLC. We have reviewed the draft resolution and have no objection. Thank you.
Are there any questions for council?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the draft resolution and A, grant an initial casino key employee license to Cheryl Franchese with a waiver of the residency requirement pursuant to NJSA 5:12-89B, and B, find Ms. Franchese qualified to serve as Vice President of Finance for Caesars Interactive Entertainment New Jersey LLC, in accordance with NJSA 5:12-85.1 and NJAC 13:69C-2.6 and 2.7.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Molyneux,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cooper.
Yes.
And Chairman Pelosi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In accordance with Resolution 23120603, the next closed session shall be held on Wednesday, March 13, 2024, at 9:30 a.m. in the Commission offices.
This is the public participation portion of the meeting. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak?
Commissioners, I want to try to make my
Your name for the record, sir.
Franklin D. Johnson.
Thank you.
Try to make my comment short. It's in regards to the performance and the right concerning who has the authority to police the public in the casino. I have said to you before that my issue on being banned from the casino had been adjudicated by the courts in the state of New Jersey. However, I am being confronted with the issue of being denied on the proper enforcement of that issue. I have researched and understood that the general security do not have authorization by the commission to police the public. They have made fictitious and numerous complaints that I think should be looked into as a matter of organized crime. Unfortunately, this might not be the right area to fully investigate that, but I have requested through the U.S. Attorney's Office and the Federal Bureau of Investigation concerning certain acts of possible terrorism that might be involved in some of those particular groups of activities regarding those security departments. I hope that this is clear, and I also like to pay tribute to the late Dr. Martin Luther King for the month of February concerning the Afro-American heritage to this country. I'd like to have that clearly identified as a reason to say that we all are participants to the body of science regarding upholding that Constitution. So I hope that our issue will be looked into further concerning the performance of each and every department regarding what their job should be. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Fauntleroy, any electronic?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.